is an imposter. Oh, that's a different game. But anyways, the DreamHack Winter replays have been dropped. And we're gonna try showcasing some of the games that might have snuck by your attention. And the first player we wish to introduce is a Zerg in the top right wearing red. She's the 7th member of the Umbrella Academy. She is Vanya! Vanya is of course actually a male Zerg Russian player currently playing for B100 Esports.
Current world rank 48.
Vanya is on a recent tear right now, racking up wins all over the place. He's gonna go hatch first for us in game number 1. A fine choice for a map with a rush distance of 37 seconds. Yes, our opening contest will be on Pillars of Gold. Don't get too excited. I checked. The pillars are all plastic replicas. It is the dawning of the age of Aqueron.
Current world rank 72.
Ruben Villanueva is a Terran player from Spain, currently playing for Team Rotti. He is gonna have his hands full going up against Vanya. But if you want out of the group stages at DreamHack, it's something you gotta do. Aqueron's one of 5 Terran players to fight their way into the qualifiers of DreamHack through Europe. And he's gonna celebrate with a Reaper Expand. His orbital is underway, he's accumulating minerals. He has sent off an SCV to scout ahead of his Reaper. Just about at 400 minerals and the command center goes down. It's classic timings, and that means we're gonna be treated to the experience of watching the natural explode in purple goop. Having said that, I better catch it now. It's always important to make sure the little guy spinning around inside the hatch is going clockwise. If he's going counterclockwise, oh, that means something really bad. It means you're playing Bizarro Starcraft or something. But we are not. It's 2 queens, 4 lings. A classic opening for a Zerg player, certainly endorsed by great players such as Cyril and Rainer. Meanwhile, back at home, Aqueron is going to sneak out that extra marine, and then he's going to start his factory. Oh, he's going to be able to stop this drone going for a 3rd. It's an extractor escape. He didn't actually have the minerals to put down that hatchery. But there's no question, he was the designated drone. The queen's not here yet. Can the Reaper accomplish any more mischief? Vanya rotates his lings and keeps them both in the yellow. The queen is here. Reaper's down to 13. He needs to get out of there. He does. He will be able to heal rapidly with the magic of combat drugs. Now, if there's only 2 lings on that Reaper, that means there's 2 other lings sneaking into the Terran base, and there they are. Vanya returns the favor and delays the Terran natural. And I do believe he's gonna be able to pick up that first blood. Unless that dude can get away. No, he does not. Early shots fired for both our players. Gotta love it. And the 3rd is down. Vanya also has his ling speed just about to finish up. Oh, that Reaper's gonna get revenge. He finds that ling. He knows there's another one. Can he find it though? The hunt is on. Aqueron's gonna try to head him off at the pass. But Vanya's pulled up short. He might miss it. No, he's doubling back. He's gonna find it. And that ling is doomed. Nothing worse than knowing that your corpse is the 2nd blood and nobody cares or gives you a cool graphic. Sometimes it just makes me mad, man. It makes me mad. Oh, Vanya's gonna send in an Overlord for some spying. That early Marine is gonna try to shut it down. He's gonna see that stim is underway. Will he get to see that Terran's actually spending his money on a 3rd command center? Meanwhile, the Reaper's hunting creep tumors and doing a fine job at it. The Overlord's health is dropping. He's deep in the red. Is he gonna see that command center? He sees the stim timing and the Hellion production. Yes, he spots the command center. He should know that the starport is delayed. But that Terran will have an extra economic punch taking him into the mid-game. And speaking of punches, 3 Hellions, 4 Hellions are going to link up with that Reaper. Aqueron just does not want to let Vanya get his creep tumors down. He's doing a fantastic job. Sure, you may have scouted my battle plan, but you will not get any tumors down. Those queens have to be so patient. If they overextend, the resulting run-by could be game-ending. A Roach Warren finishing up for Zerg, starport underway for Terran. Aqueron pulls back for now at least. He's managed to keep all of his Hellions so far. Terran is swinging west while the queens are busy replanting tumors to the east. He's gonna get in, or not. He thought about it, but chickened out when he saw the injecting queen. Terran does not want to throw away his Hellions, and I think I know why. He's got an armory on the way. He wants to convert them into Hellbats for some kind of push, possibly once his stim wraps up. He is making Marines. Meanwhile, Vanya's using the time to make his lair tech, possibly just for roach speed, maybe for some kind of tech element. Double medevacs for Terran. More creep tumors die. Aqueron has been as persistent as he has been surgical here. Vanya's gonna be creep deficient. He gets another one, and another! There's another subtle implication here. By constantly making the queens redo their creep tumors, they're not gonna have the energy for transfuses. And if Vanya has to fend off some kind of stim timing with Hellbats, he's gonna want his transfuses. Oh, those medevacs are loading up. Apparently those puffball Marines are too lazy to trek out to the battlefield on their own. Aqueron hasn't actually taken a third. He's just using it for mule energy, and as soon as I say that, he moves his third out. Those queens look frustrated, but what they don't know is the real hit is still to come. Oh, it's more than meets the eye time. Hellbat transformation. Reaper goes in first to scout, or else he's just bait for those queens. Oh, he drops the scan. He's gonna kill even more creep tumors. Vanya's making roach speed. He's gonna want that. He's also making Ravagers. He's gonna want that even more. Oh, it's an upgrade denial. Aqueron kills an Evo chamber. No +1 armor for you. The Lings just evaporate to the Hellbats, but it does give the Queens time to get some shots in. Before they too evaporate, it's up to the Ravagers. This is serious. Vanya's ordered 9 roaches though. If he can pack them up, he'll be okay. Aqueron picks up and heads on home. He's done some damage though. Great efficiency, but nothing in terms of drone kills. Meanwhile, Vanya got his 4th up. Aqueron got his 3rd up. And he started +1/+1 courtesy of his double eBays. But where his money really went? Double Liberators. Zerg has finished up roach speed, but that's not terribly helpful against Liberators. Vanya's putting together a horde. Roach Ravager, topped with an Overseer. He's going to be looking to counter, but just as he does, Twin Liberators looks to be hitting him from both sides. He lost a lot of queens in that fight, and that's his only anti-air. Vanya's making 2 replacement queens, but they're gonna be a while. The first Liberator shows up at the Zerg 3rd. It's an azure-colored circle of doom. The drone pull is late. 3 kills before the mineral patches are deserted. Make it 4. Vanya decides to counter. If Terran stashes money into Liberators, he could be vulnerable to a direct attack. Liberator number 2 shows up at the main. It's another Azure Circle of Doom. The drone kill count is rising. It's a 9 worker lead for Terran. Zerg pounces on the 3rd. There is a bunker there, but it's not enough to hold. The SCVs are pulled. They give their lives to buy time. And just like that, Zerg takes back the worker lead and then some. Meanwhile, the Liberators are getting cleaned up. Vanya is pumping roaches. He's committed to this attack. He's not satisfied with just the 3rd. Corrosive Biles eliminate the bunker. The Marauders have to hold here. Vanya's gonna pull back and make sure he gets that 3rd nice and dead, but there is a liftoff. Terran is way down on supply. I know you have to factor in for roach inflation here, but it's still pretty brutal. Aqueron does have a great tank position. He's single-handedly keeping the Zerg back. +1/+1 completes for the Terran. Having lost an Evo chamber, Zerg only has +1 attack. He's just restarting his +1 armor now. But he is going to replace that Evo chamber. He is outmining the Terran. Oh, look at this. Vanya is researching Burrow and Tunneling Claws. Oh, this is so retro. This is like Wings of Liberty. Everybody loves submersible roaches. And once underground, a roach can heal 7 hit points a second. Terran does have 3 orbitals though. He's got a lot of scan energy he can use to hunt for those underground roaches. But first there's a single medevac drop at the main. There's nothing protecting the main outside of the injecting queen. She dies, but the cavalry arrives. Aqueron with a hot pickup and the boost out of there. You have to wonder if that medevac would have gotten inside if the creep spread would have been there. Those little ripples that occur in the early game constantly affecting the mid game. Vanya's trying to bottle up that medevac on both sides, but there's no range in the Zerg army. Unless he's got some super algorithm as to where to drop his biles, I think that medevac's getting away. Okay, Terran's gonna rebuild the defense at his third. He needs that. Zerg's close to maxing out. Terran's rebuilt his worker count to 53, and he does have an upgrade lead. Tunneling claws are finishing up, and I think that's Vanya's cue to attack again. Yes, Zerg's gonna have a window where he goes even on upgrades. That is the timing he's looking to hit at. There's a pillar, brass, bronze, but gold, I'm not seeing it. Maybe an ochre yellow. I just really worry that a lot of Starcraft players are gonna get ripped off at a jewelry store. Oh, it's the Jaws parade. Aqueron does not see it. He's too busy dealing with the main army. Vanya's maxed. He's happy to start trading. But his land sharks are going after the mineral lines, the natural and the main. Aqueron does not have the SCVs to spare. But when he pulls back to clean up, that's when Vanya's main army strikes to fend off the tunneling roaches with what he can build in his base. SCV pull at the main. Marauders with the scan will clean up the natural. Marauders doing that extra 9.3 damage per second against armored targets such as roaches. He's got the concussive shell upgrade as well. But Terran's SCV count has dropped back down to 40. Zerg is completely out-resourcing the Terran. The deficit is not sustainable. Aqueron's gonna need a second mortgage to stay in this. And by that I mean extreme efficiency. He's about to finish +2/+2. The optimal window for Zerg has closed. Terran does have the upgrade advantage. And he is punching away. Zerg is forced back. Oh, and here's a gamble. Aqueron picks up his army and his medevacs. He decides he has to hit the Zerg now. He does not have much left to defend with. But when you're this far behind, you gotta take some risks. You can't just stand pat. Zerg's up to 5 bases, but they are not all defended. Vanya's gonna poke back in. There are bunkers, but that's what corrosive biles are made for. Terran finds the Zerg 5th base completely unopposed. Will Vanya pull back to defend, or will he push his own attack? He's gonna push it. He forces the liftoff on that command center. Aqueron goes after the Zerg 4th. He gets the queen. Look at this Zerg concave. Terran needs tanks. Vanya making 15 roaches behind this. What an economic beast. There are Aqueron's tanks, and they have great position. Terran's down to 2 bases and 25 workers, but he is holding. Vanya has a big-time lead, but he cannot close this out. His army has thinned out. He needs that next giant wave of roaches. Aqueron's actually picked up his invasion force. He's bringing it back. Vanya rebuilds his 4th at a new location. Impossibly, Terran is pushing forward. He's gonna make a game out of this. Aqueron says he likes his tech, he likes his composition. He relands his 3rd and drops a whole bunch of mules. Vanya's got another Jaws squad taking the long way around for some disruption. Just non-stop production of cheap roaches and queens. He has not, though, rebuilt those 2 bases he lost at their original locations. Terran only has 25 workers. The Terran production has some serious budget cuts. The role of George Clooney will have to be played by some assistant cinematographer. Another single medevac is streaking out for a drop, but appears to have come back. Vanya wants to shut down that 3rd again. It seems to be Terran's one hope of getting back into this game. How is Aqueron doing this? He got like a pincer maneuver and just shredded the Zerg force. Zerg's much bigger army is turning tail and taking damage as it retreats. Vanya's making 2 roaches for every Terran Marine in production. No sign of reteching. He's throwing in some Zerglings, but other than that, he's just gonna try to brute force this to the end. The Landshark roaches are getting cleaned up again, but the SCV count is now down to 20. Here it is. Vanya attacks the 3rd yet again. Forces the liftoff. There's a tank there, but there's not much around it. But the hero Marauders arrive again. They stim and tear into the Zerg army. I like that Vanya's adding back in lings. They can help disrupt and distract the Marauders. Every concussive shell that's splattering a wing is one that's not splattering a roach. The Zerg army is ripped apart again. Vanya keeps replacing it. but he's getting smaller and smaller. Their armies are not that big a difference in supply, and Terran's is much higher quality, but he's only got 17 workers. Zerg just needs to rip down that Terran army once. That could be harder than it sounds when there's that many medevacs out there. Every Marauder has a personal medevac at this point. And they are ripping into Zerg territory. That's dangerous on creep. Vanya wants a chance to finally crush that army. This could be his shot. Or it could be Terran's shot to start doing some critical damage. The tanks have great position. The Biles do not finish off the tanks. Aqueron rips into the Zerg third. GG! Holy Toledo, I did not see that coming. Zerg had 10 more roaches coming. That was not an impossible defense for him. I don't know if he appreciated he had a supply lead. Anyway, props to Aqueron for punching his way to victory. He had to have efficient trades 3 or 4 times in a row to make that happen. Maybe Vanya decided he just wasn't going to be able to take this game with the composition he had, and he didn't see himself surviving long enough to transition. I guess he stayed on the roach tech a little too long. But in his defense, he probably felt like he was about to win this thing several times over. It's something to think about anyway. How often is it that you see a game where a player wins when they're actually down 40 workers? Which means I'm going to be super keen to find out what happens in Game 2. Adjutant, if you would, please.
Randomizing the probability of an upset. The game begins now.
We are back. We're back, but I'm not feeling the love. I'm not feeling the love because we're on the map Romanticide. Fratricide, patricide. Is romanticide the killing of romantics? That's okay, we don't need the love. This is a life and death match. Welcome to Game 2 of our TVZ. And our last game could not have been closer. And I can say that because I didn't appreciate Aqueron was winning until he actually did. There is a ton of site blockers on this map, which can lead to some interesting play opportunities. And the rush distance is a little bit shorter this time. 35 seconds instead of 37. Is 2 seconds a difference makers? Hold on. Vanya just went pool first. That's a 16 pool. Better introduce our players. He started playing at the age of 9, Master at age 11, Grandmaster at 13. He is Aqueron! At 13, I think I was learning to turn my computer on. So Aqueron and I practically have the same level of progression. Our Zerg player's harboring plans to change his name to Ivan the Terrible. But for now, he's still Vanya! For the record, in Russian, terrible means formidable or terrorizing. It doesn't mean crappy like it does in English. So Vanya's got his natural down. His pool pops and he goes for 6 lings and 1 queen. I thought that pool first was really a defense thing, looking to guard against a Rax rush. But those quick 6 lings look offensive. Offensive as in they could be used to attack, not that they're smelly and obnoxious. Well, they're probably that too. Aqueron is doing the same Reaper expand that we saw in Game 1. He's going to be glad he sent that scouting SCV to see this, though maybe the SCV won't be too glad. Vanya's got to peel off 2 lings to kill it. That significantly reduces the force of his rush. That Reaper may be able to deal with it now. I think we know this SCV's sole purpose in life is to be our first blood. You can really see how that Reaper can hide in and out of those sight blockers. The Reaper, though, has missed those 4 lings that are sneaking around the south side here. But they will get busted by this SCV sneaking out. The lings are like, oh yeah, I guess we should kill it. But they were too late on that decision. Vanya's gonna take a third. If he was thinking about some kind of rush play, he seems to have backed off. Factory is down for Terran. Vanya tries to poke in with his Overlord, but there is that extra Marine to deal with it. He doesn't want to sack it for vision just yet. Looks like he's going to pull it back to safety. Ling speed is halfway done for Zerg. Second gas for Terran. Yes, the Overlord escapes to that very conveniently placed high ground. We're supposed to be seeing more maps without that feature, but we haven't seen too many yet. There's the reactor switch and the beginning of the starport. Oh, we have a suspicious looking SCV. He is sus, people. He is sus. What is Aqueron up to? Technically, he's just making a couple of Hellions like the rest of the Terran world. but it's still pretty sus. Having pulled back, the Reaper has decided to streak out across the map again. It's a big round of drones for Vanya. He's starting to build that coveted worker lead. Zerg needs it to match Terran's double orbitals. This is dangerous for the Reaper. Ling speed has completed. He'll need the sight blockers to save him. Or the Hellions. Oh yes, this is looking like a trap. He's trying to lure the Lings into the Hellions. Vanya figures it out and pulls back. What a sixth sense. What a play. But look at this, we've got ourselves a hidden second starport. And there's a fusion core being built to support it. We're gonna be seeing battle cruisers. Vanya needs to know about this. He's still got his camping overlord. And those Lings to the south might give him another scouting opportunity. There's that fusion core. Aqueron means to test the Zerg's front gate. I think he mostly just wants to keep the Zerg busy. Vanya's finished his roach warren. He's now making a huge round of roaches. Roaches not so good against battle cruisers. They have a lot of positive features, but they are a little bit vertically challenged. Ling run by at the natural. It's guarded by Hellions. Oh, they are going to get by. 3 Lings are going to get inside. Are they going to see it? They see the fusion core. That's big for Vanya. Battle cruisers have a 64-second build time. Vanya has to make a decision. Does he transition or does he try to hit before the BCs can come out? He's going to try for the hit. He sends everything he has. And he dumps the rest of his larvae into follow-up Lings. Oh, but the first Lings are not going to fare well. Those are Hellions. Never send Lings to do a roach's job. Oh, that second hidden starport is done, but no battlecruiser being produced out of it yet. Vanya's mutating his roaches into Ravagers. There's that BC. Aqueron's got a defensive wall of supply depots. He needs to buy time. If he can hold for the BCs, he can win this. Vanya needs to do damage right now. Once those battlecruisers pop, his army is doomed. He needs to find value immediately. He's broken into the natural. He wants to get to the main, but it is heavily defended. Corrosive vials on the wall. The battlecruiser is here. SCVs are repairing the depot. They need that to hold. More vials on the wall. It's not falling. The battlecruiser killing the Ravagers. Zerg forces the lift off at the natural, but the real prize is Zerg gets inside. Because it's proxied, the second battlecruiser is too far away. Terran's workers are getting slaughtered. The speedlings are shredding them. The battlecruiser just cannot kill the Lings fast enough. Vanya is capitalizing on the battlecruiser's slow mobility. New plan, Aqueron's gonna jump. So much for defense. Let's play base race, people. Zerg has nothing at home that can handle 2 battlecruisers. But he is making 3 spores, that's gonna help. Aqueron's down to 1 SCV. And with the loss of his fusion core, he's never making another battlecruiser again. Aqueron is killing drones at a steady rate. But it's the queens he has to get on top of. If Vanya gets his queens to a critical mass, 2 BCs is not gonna be enough. Vanya's killed the last SCV. Terran does have enough money stashed away to make more if he ever lands his command center again. Aqueron has 3 buildings in the air. Zerg has no way to kill them. It's a puzzle for Terran. Can he shut down the Zerg with just these 2 battlecruisers? That's his entire supply right now. 2 battlecruisers. He needs both of them to be hero units. Going toe-to-toe with spores is not gonna work. The battlecruisers are already down to half. Vanya finds the Terran base rather target poor right now. Aqueron spends his cash on making a Liberator. He's down to 300 minerals with no ability to make more. The Liberator's baking at that hidden starport. And what a cooking show this is turning out to be. The BCs are gonna get a hatch. That's big. But will it be enough? Zerg still has 31 drones. Vanya knows what he has to do. Queens and spores, queens and spores. But with only 2 hatches, can he make the queens fast enough? Terran's gonna catch another queen. Can he transfuse it? He saves it. There's too much at stake for Aqueron to GG out. He's gonna try to make this work. It's a mule drop for mid-battle repair. Vanya's gonna rebuild his hatch. I don't know why he's building it there though. That's a convenient spot for the battlecruisers. The Liberator's done. Terran's army is increased in size by 50%. The Liberator's trying to link up with the other 2 units. Oh, it's flying right into the Queens! Aqueron throws away the Liberator. A huge pickup for Vanya. He's got 5 United Queens to throw at the battlecruisers, but it's not enough. The battlecruisers focus them down. They need the transfuses to stay alive. Can Aqueron actually micro his way out of this? Oh, great call for Vanya. His lings aren't doing anything, so he might as well throw them at the mules. Who cares if the battlecruisers kill a half dozen? Terran kills an overlord, but Zerg is at no risk of being supply blocked. Aqueron could actually land and start his base again. There's nobody there to stop him, but he's completely focused on the offense. The battlecruisers are both into the red. Is this the end for Terran? They're both down to less than 100 hit points. The Queens are going at them. Oh! Aqueron gets the Queens. He's down to 75 hit points and 50 hit points, 38 hit points. He's trying to mule repair. The Lings go after the mule. They get it. 1 BC is down to 10 hit points. If 2 Queens spit at it, it's gonna die. Aqueron is hanging on by 1 thumb. He tries another mule repair. The Spores advance to try to pin him. Another mule drop. Terran needs this. Here come the Lings. They're gonna get that mule. Aqueron gets his battlecruiser up to 55 hit points. Vanya is making a Spire now. And Roach Speed. I'm not sure what that's for. It's probably a reflex. Or he thinks Terran's rebuilding at home and he wants to shut that down. Vanya is gradually growing in strength though. Aqueron has been heroic, but I'm ready to count him out. And there's the GG. I was about to say, but he's come back before. But not this time. Our players did bring us a cool game too, though. That was fun. I gotta say this, though, because I'm the armchair guy here. If you're Zerg in this situation, what you want to do is you want to send a drone off and make a hatch in a far corner of the map. The battlecruisers just can't get there fast enough to stop you from rebuilding. They just can't. And if you're Aqueron, you land that command center and you start making SCVs. Yeah, odds are good that Zerg's gonna find you. But if the Lings are flooding throughout the map looking for you, they're not available to attack your repair mules. Anyway, of course that's easy for me to say. When you're sitting here in your chair and not playing the game, you have infinite APM. Also, I also like this game because it showcased another way that you can deal with a battlecruiser rush. Hit first. We've seen a lot of games where Zerg goes for mutas or hydras. But that's another option. Just hit first and harder while the battlecruisers are still in production. If you can rip out the Terran's economy, it doesn't really matter if the battlecruisers make it out. So cool to watch. That means our series is tied up 1-1. It's going to be decided with a game 3. Adjutant, if you would, please.
Normalizing the hero unit potential. The game begins now.
He's lost his last 8 best-of-3 series against Vanya. Can he turn it around? He is Aqueron! He's just 1 win away from overcoming a major mental block. Our Zerg player says the less he thinks about results, the better he plays. He's the Russian star, Vanya! After 2 excellent games, this is our rubber match. I don't know why they call it a rubber match. It is neither bouncy nor stretchy. It's a racks to gas for Terran. All the hallmarks of a Reaper expand build he used in game 1 and 2. Hatch first for Vanya this time. He's returning to his econ roots for the match on Dethara, a map that rarely fails to entertain. I know I've got a little irrational love affair with this map. Wait, where is that drone going? Is this cheese or is he just checking for proxies? I mean, he's already made a hatch. He's not queuing up minerals. He might be worried that Aqueron's hiding a racks or something. So that's a normal pool timing. Yeah, he's just looking around. Yeah, that's cheese prevention, not cheese generation. Fromage defense, not fromage creation. Yeah, he's on his way home. Rax finishes up for Terran. He does make the Reaper. And the constructing SCV is converted into a scout. That's a normal timing. Terran starts up his orbital, and a second SCV is going to put down a command center. Yes, he does. So far, Terran remains identical to game 1 and 2. But that doesn't mean we're going to see another fusion core. Aqueron completes the wall off to his main. And the orbital's about to finish up, which means we get to enjoy the inaugural mule. I feel like the mule comes with a lot of excessive packaging. I'm not so sure it's environmentally friendly, but it does appear to biodegrade. The scouting SCV does indeed confirm there's a giant honkin' hatch at the natural, which is what he came for. And he's also going to see if he can delay the third. Recall in game 2, he almost got a drone snipe out of it. Factory goes down for Terran. 4 lings finish up for Vanya. He's making 2 queens, just as he did in the prior games. The SCV gives up on his hatch block. There's no drone there. Reaper shows up. Vanya needs to do the ling dance. Can he keep rotating his lings long enough for the queen to pop out? Oh, Aqueron's got to be careful. They're getting a piece of him. Queen is out. That Reaper's down pretty low. And he finds out that Vanya has indeed expanded. He just went to the alternate location, which may be, well, something he's happy with. Terran's natural is going to finish up. Vanya's looking to backdoor an overlord. Aqueron's marines guarding the wrong spot. One of the reasons I like Dithara is it doesn't have one of those convenient perching points with the Zerg. At least not at its main. Zerg has to work a little bit harder to get that scouting info. Vanya's going to see if he can pull it off without getting overlord speed. He's got ling speed underway, but he's kept all of his overlords except for the one at home. So if this scouting plan fails, there is no plan B for Vanya. There really isn't anything to scout just yet at this point anyway. Terran's just making double reactored Hellions. The starport is finishing up, as is Zergling speed. There's a 4-worker lead for Vanya. But with the mule drop, Aqueron is keeping pace. Oh, a fusion core went down again. Is Vanya gonna see it? He sees the starport, but there's a pair of marines driving him out. He's gonna try to save his overlord and not sack it. Vanya is not gonna get that all-important intel. He could even lose the overlord on top of this. There's 2 marines, not 1, and Aqueron gets it. That's a first blood. Vanya's 3rd hatch is done. He starts a baneling nest for safety. He's also making 2 more queens. He's gonna need those. He does not know what's coming. He's gonna have to react blindly. Ah, a pair of spores. Another investment in defense. A nice conservative response to what he must know was a botched scouting attempt. The Hellion count links up to 4, and the Reaper's still alive. Fusion core wraps up, and I assume a battlecruiser is going to be made at that starport. Yes, it is. Only single starport this time. We don't have a second one like game 2. Oh, the Hellion incursion force is on creep. The speedlings are going to try to shut it down. They pull back and get roasted. Aqueron has to be happy with his opening so far. He's even started a 3rd command center. Vanya's going for lair tech. No Roach Warren this time. At least not yet. He's making 10 Zerglings, possibly for future Banelings. But mostly his main focus is still to drone like a madman. We'll see what that lair turns out to be for. Right now it looks like it might just be for centrifugal hooks. I do love me some hooks that are centrifugal. Oh, there's a tumor snipe and another. He's getting value out of his Hellions, especially if he doesn't throw them away. They are seriously annoying Vanya. Aqueron's working on stim. His first BC is almost done. Is he going to fly it across or is he going to jump it? Let's find out. If he flies it across, he can save his tactical jump for the trip home. No, he's going to jump now. He goes for the quick attack. Oh, and as a bonus, he's going to scout that Vanya's just started to spire. The spore was too far away, has to replant. He's going to get a queen. Aqueron just keeps rolling. Perhaps he's starting to feel like he could finally win a series against Vanya. 3 drone kills. No, don't go for the spore. Oh, the battlecruiser just hit the yellow. He needs to get out of there. Grabs himself a couple more drones, 3 more drones, 4 more drones. He's getting his money's worth with that battlecruiser, but at some point there's going to be air on the field for Zerg. Typically we see mutants, but we might also see corrupted. Oh, and Aqueron has parked his Hellions to dart in for a second attack. The battlecruiser is just a distraction. It has been very effective. He gets another queen. 14 kills on that battlecruiser. Adjutant, I thought we dialed down the hero units. Oh, that Hellion force is going to get boxed in. Are there enough lings to do the job? Carnage, carnage everywhere. Who comes out on top? It looks like the lings do. Vanya lost a lot of cheap lings, but he'll be happy to get rid of that Hellion force once and for all. Kill number 15 for that BC. Vanya is not supply capped, though. And he started his 4th. Aqueron has his 3rd down. And it's 3/4 saturated. Oh, bad luck for this scouting ling. He walks right into a whole bunch of Marines who do not fire. They're on move command. That was one lucky ling. Oh, maybe not with that tank there. Oh, he used up all his luck. These Marines need to be sent back to basic training. If you see a Zergling 2 feet in front of you, you shoot it. Okay, Vanya went for mutas, and they are out. He's just packing them up right now. The mutas counter-assault is really going to be helped by the fact that the Marines have all just pushed out. There's a lot less defense in Terra's base than there was a couple seconds ago. Oh, they're going to find the repairing battlecruiser, and they're going to get it. They force an SCV pull at the natural. This is what Vanya needs to catch up in this game. He loses 1 muta, but 9 SCV kills and counting. There are no turrets in the main. Due to budget cuts, Aqueron skipped the static D at his base. He went for +1/+1 upgrades instead, and a huge amount of reactive Marines. 16 worker kills for Vanya. He's got to be careful getting his mutas out though. He flies into the intercept force and gets stimmed. He's down to 3 mutas. Vanya's making 5 more though, and he's gonna commit. He's doing +1 air attack. He looks to be playing Mutaling Bane. Aqueron with Marine Tank. Vanya seems to be content with 74 drones. He's building himself an army now, and we're seeing those Banes come out. After 2 unconventional games, it looks like we're going to settle this one in classic style. Terran's got a smaller hit squad on the right-hand side of the map. Its main force staying home for defense. A 5th base goes down for the Zerg. The mutas have repacked. They're going to try for another strafing run. Aqueron's still trying to finish up his turrets, but he does have a lot of Marines available to him. He stims half his force and tries to go for the mutas. He forces them back. Meanwhile, the hit squad tries to clean up a little creep and discovers that the Banelings are out. The Banelings move so fast on creep. 4.5 instead of 3.5. Terran's picked up with his medevacs, but Vanya uses his mutas to intercept. The hit squad is just obliterated. Terran decides he knows where the mutas are. That gives him comfort to push out with his main force, and it is big. Aqueron can produce Marines 12 at a time at this point. Oh, we might have a little bit of ships passing in the night here. The mutas are going back down to attack. Terran's also moving out. Oh, the mutas are going to be able to go after the reinforcements. They want to pick off the stray Marines. Oh, somehow Terran gets the stim off and takes a couple mutas with him. Good awareness. Stimming your Marines actually gives you DPS that's greater than going from 0 to +3 attack. It's that deadly. But so are Banelings. Here's a big clash. The tanks get shots off. Aqueron weathers the Banelings. His Marines are able to move in. The mutas dart in to try to clear the tanks, but the Marines are there. Aqueron's trying to parade push his Marines, 12 at a time. But there's 34 more lings in production for Vanya. He's banking the gas he needs to make a sea of Banelings. Who's got this? Zerg is out resourcing the Terran with his 83 drones. Aqueron would love to shut down that hatch. His tanks have good position, but Vanya will have an extravagant number of Banelings pretty soon. Every overlord in a 5-mile radius has come to watch. The Marines are within range of the hatch. Vanya gives the attack signal. It's charge! Aqueron needs the splits. Who's got the micro? The Marines pull back to the ramp, leaving the tanks exposed. But man, do they punish the Zerg trying to get up the ramp. The ramp is absolutely slick with Zerg blood. Terran's push has run out of steam though. The final tank has Zerglings on it. It is gone. Zerg leads by 20 workers. Vanya's making Marines 14 at a time, and he still can't spend all his money. He's still got 1,000 minerals banked up. That clash was brutal for both sides. Zerg is only slightly ahead on the all-important negative stat of resources lost. Zerg typically expects that when playing with Banelings, or any Zerg composition for that matter. So Vanya has to be happy with the exchanges overall. Aqueron tried to add in Liberators, but the Mutas just ate them alive. Oh, Vanya's trying for a cheap Ling run-by, but the Marines are there. Oh, the door is open! Oh, this could be terrible for Terran. Oh, not so bad. Good recovery from Aqueron. His natural was open, but his main was closed. He had lots of Marines on hand for the cleanup. Aqueron has 8 barracks, 6 of which have reactors on them. He can really crank out the Marines. His army's already replenished. He's going to try pushing out again. Vanya's Mutas are going to try to counter. They've done so much damage in this game. They get another 5 kills and force the SCV pull. Make it 9 kills. Aqueron decides not to pull back and defend. He's going to go and attack. We could wind up in another base race scenario. Vanya's going after the E-base. They're not researching right now, but they are still excellent targets. It's going to give Zerg the opportunity to take that upgrade lead. Aqueron thought about pulling back, but changed his mind. You can't be indecisive, as hard as it is. The worst thing that can happen is to have your troops caught in the middle, neither attacking nor defending, just traveling. Aqueron tries for that 4th base yet again. This time there's no Mutas to stop him. Can he get his tanks into position to hold off the Banelings? That hatch is gonna fall. Terran needed that so badly. He's almost all in on this attack. He's brought his SCVs and he doesn't have many of them, only 36 left. The Terran economy is collapsing. But if you can kill the Zerg everything, it's not going to matter. Rarely do you ever get to say that Banelings are wasted on SCVs, but this is such a case. Emerald Carnage! Both sides are taking the hits, but Terran does not have the ability to rebuild. There are still 55 Marines for Terran. Aqueron is not yet done, but he needs this to work. He finds the next wave of Banes trying to rebuild. Can he jump on that? No, he's too late. The Banelings are out. The splits are good, but the Banelings are just so numerous. It's GG. Vanya takes the series with a classic macro game. Well, at the risk of oversimplifying, this game was lost when Aqueron decided not to go with any turrets in his base, even after he scouted the Spire. Now, it wasn't a crazy decision. He had a heavy investment in Marines, and Stim Marines are even better at muta deflection than turrets. But that assumes your positioning is perfect, and as we saw, Aqueron moved out right as the muta swooped in, and Vanya was pretty good at angling his mutas. Vanya found the holes and did enough damage to get ahead, and built up a lead that he never really let go of. Props to Vanya for winning the series, but props to Aqueron for that awesome comeback in Game 1 and then entertaining us with his battlecruiser duo in Game 2. Just want to remind you people of our new release date and time.
Sunday, 10 a.m. EST.
If you've got a hunger for high-definition Starcraft games, we're sending them your way. I hope to be releasing a top 10 list of the best games we cast this year, or at least my personal favorites, as best is so subjective. So if you want to go back and check out some great games that you might have missed, this will help you to do so. If anyone has a recommendation for inclusion on this list for our viewers, be sure to let me know. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.